My husband controlled every dollar until I found the hidden debts he put in my name. I walked out, filed charges, and watched his whole life collapse without lifting a finger. The mortgage officer's face told me everything before he said a word. I was sitting in a glass-walled office, finally about to lock in our dream home, the one Kevin and I had been saving toward for 3 years, the one I'd worked double shifts for, every weekend, every holiday. Mrs. Chen, he said slowly, flipping through papers, are you aware you have significant, outstanding debt? I laughed. That must be a mistake. We've been saving specifically because we have no debt. He slid the credit report across the desk. 4 credit cards I'd never opened, a car loan for a vehicle I'd never seen, and a small business loan, $47,000, for a company called K&L Ventures. My husband's name is Kevin Liu. I stared at my own signature, scrawled at the bottom of each application, except I'd never signed any of them. The drive home felt like moving through water. Kevin was already there when I walked in, feet on our coffee table, scrolling his phone. The same phone he checked constantly, the one I wasn't allowed to touch. How'd it go? He asked without looking up. I set the credit report on the table between us. He glanced at it, then at me, and his face did this quick calculation I'd seen before, the one where he decided which version of events to sell me. Before you overreact, he started. $47,000, a business loan, in my name. He sighed like I was being difficult. It's an investment for us. You wouldn't understand the opportunity, so I handled it. By forging my signature, by protecting you from stress. He said it so smoothly, like he'd rehearsed it. You were going to find out once it paid off. That's when the years snapped into focus. Every paycheck I'd handed over for the bills, every time I asked to see our bank statements and he said he'd show me later. The grocery budget he monitored down to the penny while somehow always having cash for poker nights. The way he'd check my purse when I came home, counting receipts, asking why I needed coffee when we had some at home. I thought he was just careful with money. I thought we were a team. I was the team. He was the coach betting against us the whole time. That night, I didn't argue. I didn't cry. I told him I needed space to process. He seemed relieved. He ordered himself sushi while I sat in our bedroom, thinking clearly for the first time in years. The next morning, I called in sick and started making moves. First, new bank account, new email, new phone number, everything routed away from his reach. Second, I pulled all 3 credit reports and documented every fraudulent account. The car loan was for a BMW registered to his cousin. The business loan had been deposited into an account I'd never seen. The credit cards showed purchases at bars, electronics stores, and a jewelry shop, and I hadn't received any jewelry. Third, I filed police reports. When I showed them my real signature compared to the forgeries, one officer just shook his head. This is textbook. We see this more than you'd think. I stayed with my sister for 2 weeks, told Kevin I was visiting family. He texted daily, not asking how I was, just asking when I'd be back to handle laundry, groceries, his dry cleaning. The day the detective called to say they were pressing charges, I drove back one last time. Kevin was on the couch, watching sports, dishes piled in the sink. Finally, he said, this place is falling apart without you. I handed him the envelope. Inside, copies of every fraudulent document, the police report number, and a notice that I'd removed my name from the lease. His face went white. You went to the cops? Over paperwork? Over theft? Over fraud? Over years of lying to my face. He tried the old tactics, the sighs, the guilt trips, the "you're ruining everything" speech, but they didn't land anymore. I'd already seen behind the curtain. I picked up my last box and walked out. 3 months later, the charges stuck. Kevin pleaded to a lesser count to avoid trial. His credit was destroyed. The landlord evicted him. His cousin's BMW got repossessed. The business collapsed because it was never real. Just a shell to funnel money stolen from my name. I didn't have to do anything. I just told the truth, and the system did the rest. Last week, I bought myself a coffee, $4.50 with oat milk, and didn't ask anyone's permission.